Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 23rd of October, 2023. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Monday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a view the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little left corner in there, and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so now then, guys. So welcome everyone who's tuning in right now. I hope you all are feeling nice and refreshed after the weekend. I hope you're all feeling happy. Um, well, if you're not, then well, it's in order for you to start. I don't know, finding a way to feel happy. Honestly, life is short, so enjoy every moment of it. Look, as always, we're going to have a look at the charts, as I said. So a bit before we go further, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us and, just drop us a message and we'll try to help you as much as we can. So now then, the first one I want to pick up here on this. Oh, by the way, I just realized it's a nice, beautiful number, 231023. Very nice, very nice. Look, at the moment, Nikkei is sitting below this 200-day EMA and below my 31,133 zone. So I talked about this last week, and I said to you that in order for me to go lower, I need to see a nice good drop below this. And then, yes, more sellers here could join in. So at the moment, everything's looking quite bearish, to be honest. But given that it's Nikkei, look, I mean, I have my reservations in terms of Nikkei because Nikkei it seems like it wants to play according to the technical analysis rules, but to be honest, sometimes it just, well, actually maybe even most of the time it doesn't do that. So that's why I guess I'm looking at this 31,133 zone, or you know what, let's round it up maybe to 100 because we have the EMA, which is roughly around here, around that 31,100 zone. So as long as we remain below that hurdle, then yes, there is a good chance for us to see this one drifting lower, and that's according to all the TA rules. But look, given that if the indices, let's say the European ones, the US ones, will recover somewhat, because we saw on Friday like a major sell-off, and yes, if we do see some sort of recovery, then yep, great. More buyers here could join in, maybe on a push back above this 31,133 zone. But look, let's not rush into things. For now, yes, I'm leaning towards the downside still, and as long as we remain below that 200-day EMA. My next target here is the 30,293. That's my ideal scenario, but of course, let's see if this little hurdle right here, let me just put a magnet. There we go. Nope. And yes, and there we go. Yes. So 30,558, something that I'm keeping a close eye on, and that's going to be my next target. And then after that, I'll target the 30,293. Let me just double check something here. I have the lights a little bit way too bright on me, I think. Just a sec. Bear with me one moment. Let's see if that's doing the trick. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. I still have a reflection from my bald head in there, but hey, what can I do? Mother Nature decided to have me, have me something reflecting from my head. But anyway, look, China 50 index. This one, I mean, that was just a tragedy. I mean, look at this. I mean, look at this collapse here, and wow. I mean, in general, this is not really looking good. Of course, don't get me wrong. At any point, there should be a bit of a holdup. It should be a bit of a slowdown moment in terms of, let's say, a recovery here. Yes, for sure. But at this point, I don't think that this is the case. I mean, it's just drifting lower, and so far I'm targeting my levels. Oh, and there everything seems to be working out so far. So my next target here is this 11,397, marked by the inside swing high of the 1st of November. And then, yes, we will go from there. So at the moment, long story short, I'm going to be leaning towards that area, as long as we remain below the 11,728 zone, and then we'll just take it from there. If we do somehow pop back above the 11,821 right here, I will consider a larger correction to the upside. ASX 200, there we go, beautiful move here to the downside, and look at this wonderful move where my targets got reached, and that's great. Now my question is, can we see something like that? Can we see a rebound here? First of all, let me just, and I talked about this, guys, if you remember last week, I said to you that, look, I have this little hurdle here. If we do clear it, yes, I'm going to lean towards the downside, but I'm going to aim for this territory first, this key area of support, which, by the way, is the current lowest point. No, wait, we already created, so we've created a new low for this year. So basically, we violated the lowest point of this year, and we've created a new one on ASX 200. So we can mark that one here on the futures, and these are the futures, by the way. All these indices that I'm looking at are the futures. So on the cash index, you might have a bit of a different story. Let me just kind of see if this is better a little bit. Nah, I mean, it's okay. I'll have that reflection. Just bear with me one moment. I don't know if this is better or not, but maybe a little bit better, less reflection. Okay, I think that'll do. Look, okay, so now then, so the situation here on ASX 200, yes, I mean, we got a hold up near this previous lowest point of this year, and now the question is, can we see a further decline? Well, I mean, in general, yes, we should consider further declines, especially if we do drop below the current lowest point of this year, which is roughly around that 6,840 zone. So in general, I said to you last week that I'm targeting the 6,850 tick. Fantastic. We reached my target. And now we can keep an eye on this 6,840 zone, which is the current lowest point of this year. If we clear that one, then yes, great, more sellers could join in. In terms of Australian news, in terms of Australian news, economic data releases, we don't really have much apart from Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just double check. Yeah, the CPI numbers coming out from Australia. So yes, something to keep in mind. For now, the forecast is for the year-on-year figure to go lower, but the Q-on-Q is expected to rise a little bit. So yes, the question is, will that be happening? Will that be the case? In terms of other Australian news, export-import price indices are coming out, and indexes are coming out. So on Thursday, and that's kind of it. I think Friday, sorry, PPI. So basically, if you're trading something related to Australia, starting off from Wednesday, I think that's when it could be a little bit more interesting, unless, for example, ASX 200 just makes the moves based on what's happening in Europe and the US. So yes, I mean, at the moment it seems like that. It seems like that's the kind of the path that ASX 200 is moving in. So in a way, yes, we can look at the Australian data, but somehow it's just, let's say, sometimes just like an impulse moment, right? So it's like the Australian data comes out, We do get a reaction, but then eventually it just kind of settles down, and then ASX 200 just moves in the direction where the US indices move. And talking about the US indices, Dow we saw this decline. Look, mission accomplished, because what I talked about on Friday, if you remember, if you watched my webinar, then yes, I said to you that I'm targeting this 33,359 territory. Tick, fantastic, great result. What's next? Well, next is, let's have a look at this. Oh, first of all, before we go further, as always, I'll be the first one in the chat room. Yep, good morning, everyone. Everybody's having a wonderful start of Monday. If you're not, well, tune in. Yes, I mean, I just grab yourself something like a hot drink, and let's see what these markets have prepared for us for this week. Now, in terms of the US data this week, we do have actually quite an interesting week, because, well, mainly the most important data sets, of course, are going to be on Tuesday, where we get the preliminary manufacturing, composite, and services PMIs coming out from the US. Wednesday will be building permits, crude oil inventories, something like that. And then we have the initial jobless claims and continuous jobless claims, the usual on Thursday. And of course, the preliminary GDP figures as well coming out on Thursday. But of course, the spotlight will most likely fall on the Friday's data when we get the PCE, the Fed's beloved inflation metrics. And because the Fed believes that represents a much better, it has a better reflection of what's happening with the inflation in the country. So the PCE index is coming out on Friday, so keep your eyes on that. Yes, that will be, I think that this is where we could see some nice activity, some nice action. So now then, jumping into actually, wait, with the Dow. So for one thing that I really want to do here is, because my targets got reached, I really want to start the week fresh. So I'm going to remove all the drawings, and yes, I'm going to start fresh. So now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take a bit of a conservative approach here in terms of the downside. So my downside scenario will come here on a break of this 33,000 territory, or 33,021, so something like that. But yeah, I think that would be a little bit better here, because I'll just leave some room for maneuverability, and just I'll allow it to settle down a little bit to see what it wants to do. Again, today maybe we'll see a continuation move to the downside just because of Friday's action. But yeah, I'm not really touching this one unless we start clearing this territory here. Let me just put an arrow here for a future reference. So if we do drop below this 33,000 mark, then yes, I'll go towards that 32,620, and then we'll just take it from there. That level here, the 32,620, is the lowest point of May. Good potential target, but yes, I mean, maybe the index might not stop there. Maybe it could go towards the is that the lowest? Yep, that's the lowest point of this year, near the 31,429 roughly. But again, that's way too far still. Let's deal with this stuff first, and then we can take it from there. So like I said, keep your eyes on the economic calendar today. Well, today is actually boring. So today, I don't know, maybe we'll get some other stuff like, oh, and by the way, of course, the US. Why I'm saying that the US is interesting this week, because we also have the big boys delivering their earnings. Yeah, this week we do have big companies like Microsoft, Alphabet. So all these guys are the bigger ones are delivering from Tuesday, starting off from Tuesday and further. That's when we will get the most popular, let's say, most traded companies delivering. So Monday, not much interesting stuff. But Tuesday, yes, we'll have your Microsofts, Alphabets, Visas, Coca-Colas, and Texas Instruments, Verizon, General Electric, I mean, NextEra Energy, Chubb. I mean, wow, you name it. 3M is in there. So if you do like to trade stocks, I mean, of course, keep your eyes on those. And Wednesday, we do get the Meta platforms. Then we get the IBM, Boeing. So yeah, General Dynamics. Thursday, Amazon, MasterCard, Merck, Intel. So just to name a few, honestly, the list is big. And Friday, ExxonMobil, Chevron, yeah, those guys are and Colgate, Palmolive. So yes, another brand, another name to watch actually. So in general, we could get this action based on on the stocks as well. So if you're thinking that hey, maybe the economic calendar does not have anything major, yeah, maybe that's true, but let's not forget that, like I said, we do get these companies delivering, so those might help move the index, especially after hours and before the U.S. opening bell. So keep that in mind. Let's say if you won't see some major action during the trading session, before the trading commences, and also at the end of the trading session, we might see some volatility, so just be careful with that. So coming back here with the Dow, look, in terms of the upside, I have this downside line, right? And I think that maybe to wait for that break of this downside line could be logical for now, because at the moment I'm not really comfortable with the upside. Honestly, this territory here becomes quite a wide one, and I am struggling to find some sort of, let's say, possibilities. But look, if we are looking at from the very short term perspective, maybe you could keep an eye on last week's low near the 33,229. A nice good drop below this may open the door towards this 33,000 mark. So if you're comfortable with something like that, okay. In terms of the upside within this formation, maybe this is a descending triangle. Who knows? But maybe, let's say, inside here, we could keep an eye on something like this, something around this 33,450, 60, something like that, and then we could maybe consider a larger correction here to the upside towards this downside line. So just keep that in mind, guys. S&P 500, beautiful break of this upside line. So in a way, I would say kind of mission accomplished. We did get that. Charles Schwab 69. Good morning to you too. I hope you're having a wonderful start of Monday. I can see you there in chat room. So yeah, thank you very much for the comment. So look, the S&P 500. In a way, the game plan worked out, because I said to you last week that if we do break this kind of upside line, I mean, it's a little bit on the tentative side, but hey, still a line. If we do break that one, then yes, my next target is the 4,235. We came close to that, didn't reach that, but hey, I think I'll take that as a good result, because in a way, it's never the exact level, it's always the area around that. So now, what I would like to do here is, first of all, adjust my chart, because some of these lines are no longer valid. I will do this one instead, and I will, I'll remove that totally and kind of mark this hurdle instead. So long story short, basically, if you're looking for some lower levels, I think a drop below this 4,235 territory would be needed. A forthcoming lower low will be confirmed then, and then we could aim for this low of the 31st of May near the 4,174. Now, in terms of the upside, well, maybe a push above this downside line could be great. Then we could consider some slightly higher levels. But look, I get it. Maybe you're thinking, hey, we could be missing out on a bit of territory here somewhere. Maybe we need to find some sort of a level here. And okay, we can do that. So from the very short-term perspective, I think that maybe we could keep an eye on something around here, something around this 4,300 zone. So 4,301, approximately around there. And if we do climb above it, then yes, this may result in a larger correction to the upside towards this downside line. That's where or that's my upside scenario, which I will consider in the short run. So, Nathan J. Gilks, greetings from UK. Hello. I hope you're having a wonderful start, an early start of the day. So 7:22, I think it's in your place. So yeah, good morning. I hope you're having a wonderful start of Monday. I hope everybody else. I mean, I hope everybody had a great weekend and relaxed at least a little bit. So because that's the most important. And now you're ready to attack the markets, and let's see what we can squeeze out of them. Just bear with me one moment. My voice is going down. So now the S&P 500. So that's, like I said, that's my game plan. Let me just probably mark the territory around this one. This is what I'm gonna wait for in order to aim for the downside. So it needs to break below this 4,235 territory. NASDAQ 100. So let me just quickly take a look at that one. By the way, guys, if you're new to this webinar, if you're looking for some sort of an instrument or something, look, you can drop it in the comment section, and then I can look into this. But normally this is the list that I go through on the right here. So yeah, if you can see there an instrument in there which is something that you like, then so basically I'm going to get to that. If you don't have anything there which you like, sorry, or you can, like I said, drop me a comment there, and I can see if I can take a look at it. NASDAQ. So yes, good result here as well. Look, last week I said to you that if we do fall below the 100-day EMA, then yes, I will lean towards the downside, where my next target will be this 14,610 area, approximately around here, or 600 zone actually. Well, again, mission accomplished. Fantastic result here. So I've reached my target. Now what's next? I mean, it didn't reach exactly the level, but as I said, it's never the level, it's always the area around that level. So now my next target is this 200-day EMA, although I cannot really squeeze this downside line here too much. But anyway, look, my next target is the 200-day EMA. That's what I'm going to be aiming for if we do break below the 14,600 territory, somewhere around here. And then, yeah, like I said, I'll target this 200-day EMA, because in general, last time we've tested the 200-day EMA was back in March. And, well, yeah, I think it's time we could do that. Of course, don't get me wrong, we came close to testing that back here in October, in the beginning of October, and now we're at the end of October, and I'm hoping to see a test of that, because it would be really interesting. But at the same time, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to get disappointed if we don't, because then if we do get a rebound back up, maybe we'll be forming something of a descending triangle pattern, maybe a shorter term one, or maybe a medium term one. So we'll see how it plays out. But again, like I said, it's not a problem if we do rebound from this territory and we don't reach the 200-day EMA, because this is quite an important area of support, as you can see yourselves. But again, let's wait and see, because maybe the third time is a lucky one. So let's see if we can clear that one. But look, as long as we remain in this territory here, I am just observing the price action. I'm not really doing anything, because I really don't like it. I mean, I don't know. The thing is that it's way too close here. It could rebound, could push a little bit higher, and then I'm going to be all happy about myself, thinking that it's going to go and test the 100-day EMA or something like that, or maybe this downside line, and it doesn't. Maybe it's just going to form something like a bearish flag here, and then fall off the cliff. So let's not exclude such scenarios as well. The German index, DAX. Oh, the German index. This week we do have some data from Europe. Now let me just start off from Monday. Dead. Not much, honestly. Then on Tuesday we do get the HCOB Eurozone manufacturing, composite, and services PMIs, preliminary ones, not the final ones, preliminary. Still interesting to keep an eye on what's happening. So because normally the European data, Eurozone data, actually comes out very close to the forecasts, and whenever it's a preliminary one, then the headline one also comes out very close to the preliminary. So that's why people do watch the preliminary numbers from Eurozone, because they kind of tend to be close enough to the the real thing. So yeah, that's something with the Eurozone numbers is that's good. They're quite predictable, or they come out mostly very close to the forecast. But going into Wednesday, okay, Wednesday we do have some money supply numbers, something not very major. Then I can see that on the calendar that Christine Lagarde is kind of delivering a speech, but the question is actually, I think that the calendar is not really updated because I have it on Tuesday and Wednesday. I think it's going to be only one day, so we'll have to double check that. But of course, the main event Thursday. Thursday, interest rate decision. Interest rate decision, and then followed by the ECB press conference. So look, if you're trading something euro related, or if you're trading something yeah, actually, or DAX or something like that, then yes, keep your eyes on Thursday. Like I said, interest rate decision. Currently the forecast is for no hike at 4.5 to come out, for the rate to come out. Look, in general, I'm kind of sticking to the kind of actually the same thing. I mean, that they're not going to be there's not going to be an interest rate hike. But let me just double check something. Inflation rate. This is the thing. So inflation, as we know, all the central banks, Western central banks, kind of are trying to kind of lower down inflation, and that's why they're hiking rates and stuff like that. And since October of last year, in Eurozone, the inflation has been declining and has been moving lower, and on a gradual, kind of on a gradual pace. Only once in April of this year, I think it kind of spiked back by just 0.1%, and then again it started drifting lower. So look, in October 2022, we were sitting at 10.6%, and that was like a major concern, and it was like everybody was crying about that, like, and okay, I get it. It was a problem. Now inflation is at last reading in the Eurozone came out at 4.3. So now the next expectation, I don't know what the next expectation is. Actually, maybe it's going to be the same one or something, but currently it's sitting something like around 3.1. I think like next week, I think it's coming out. So again, a lower one. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think that, although I know that ECB wants to kind of continue raising rates, because their explanation is that, it's nowhere close to our 2% target yet, and blah, 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 and we're afraid that it can pick up again. I think that the problem here is time. So, how much time are you willing to give in order to wait for that number to drop? And I think that I think at the moment it's on the right track. It's moving nicely to the downside. So the question is, will they go for another rate hike? It's very difficult for them. It would be really difficult to justify that unless there is something that I don't know. But to go for, yes, currently it's sitting at 4.5. The interest rate, yes, yeah, for 4.5. So to go for a 4.75, very difficult. If that's the case, if they would do that, I mean, I would see probably DAX even drifting further south. So at the moment, let's see how this week is going to play out. But again, like I said, watching the ECB, this interest rate decision on Thursday. And at the moment, look, I think this one will move in a similar fashion to the U.S. indices, in my opinion. But again, let's wait and see. Even if we do retrace somewhat here, because look, last week it was a massacre here. We did drift lower, and well, we cleared my target, this 14,857. I talked about this, and we actually created a new low for is this? Oh, no, sorry, not for this year. I wanted to say for this year. No, but We created a new low for October. My question is that it? Is that like the lowest point of October now? Let's wait and see. At the moment, we're trading below the short-term tentative downside resistance line drawn from the high of the 12th of October. And even if we do see a retracement here, I'll still class this move as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. But at this point, I think that the easier option is to kind of wait for a drop below the current lowest point of October and then go to the downside. Because at this point, yes, it would be nice to see maybe a bit of a retracement here. And that's why my upside scenario is from around here on a break of this steep downside line. And then we could take it from there, guys. The FTSE 100. So, beautiful decline. I mean, mission accomplished on this one as well, because I talked about it and I said to you that if we do break this upside line, my next target is this highlighted zone right here between the 7,400 and 7,423 levels. Well, we got that move. We got that test here. So now the question is, can we go further south? And if we do drop below the 7,400 territory, I'm leaning towards the 7,326 here, marked by the inside swing high of the 21st of October. And then, yes, I will go towards this this upside line, this flattish upside line drawn from the low of the 20th of March. Good potential target. Let's wait and see. But again, at the moment, like I said, let's keep an eye on that 7,400 zone. And if we do clear it, great, more sellers could join in. If we remain somewhere around here, I'm just observing the price action. Because again, another interesting thing is to see if we're going to create something like a bearish flag maybe or something like that. And then, you know, if we do that, then maybe we'll see a drop lower. But look, let's not rush into things. Again, in terms of data from UK this week, not much, nothing. I think almost nothing. So yeah, let me just double check very quickly before. Labor productivity, again, preliminary manufacturing PMIs and services PMIs are coming out, so that's on Tuesday. Yeah, employment change. Unemployment number tomorrow. Yes, unemployment number tomorrow morning. Okay, but that's kind of it. So not much. So let's see. For me, the upside scenario here could come on a push, maybe back above this territory somewhere. But actually, you know what? At this point, I think I'm just gonna be waiting for a move back above this upside line, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. US dollar. US dollar, so it's still stuck here. And to be honest, I'm not really excited about it. Oh, just a second. I saw the, sorry, I just noticed the comment. Cable, Quanco, Finance, Wolf. I see a buy and they might use ECBY. They have been dropping the whole month, so they must create the low of the month. Sorry, I didn't get the question, honestly. Like, what are you referring to? They might use ECBY. They have been dropping. What has been dropping? The inflation number or what? I mean, could you be a little bit more specific, please, in the question there? I mean, because it's really difficult to understand. Sorry about that. Maybe it's just me. So, but yeah, I'm waiting for some. Yeah, let me ask. Could you write the question at me again, please, if that's okay? So, US dollar index. So look, I mean, we're still stuck in this little range here. Ish, kind of. I mean, it's not really a range. Maybe somebody sees it as a bullish flag or something like that. But to DAX, you see to DAX a buy. To DAX, just a second. Let's go back to DAX a little bit. See a buy to DAX. I mean, if they're not gonna raise rates, then could be a buy to DAX for sure. Because again, the low interest rates are not going higher. That's good for the stock market. So is that the question, or sorry, what's the question? So if I'm trying to understand like this, I mean, coming back to the US dollar, so here we have a situation, like I said, where We are still stuck in this little kind of area between the 105.75 and the 106.56 territory, approximately around here. Last week I talked about this and I said that I'm still waiting for a clearance. Now, if we do clear the 105.75 territory, then yes, I will go to the downside towards my 50-day EMA and this 23.6% retracement on the Fibonacci, which I have drawn here from the low of the 18th of July, and or should say the lowest point of July to the highest point of October, the current highest point of October, because again, October has not ended yet, so maybe we could see some action here. Maybe the PCE could bring it up. We'll see. So yeah, that's why I'm waiting for a clearance through one of these territories first. Gold, yes. I mean, look at this powerful thing here. I mean, wow, beautiful move. Look, last week I've talked about this, and I kind of I'm aiming for that psychological 2000 mark. But again, so far we can see that there is a holdup near this territory right here. Let me just put this one on the chart. So this one right here, so it's roughly between the 1982 and 1987. If we do clear this zone, yes, great. That's where I'm gonna aim for the psychological 2000 mark, or even above that. But again, let's not rush into things because we already had quite a decent up move. So maybe a bit of a retracement could be nice. However, it's really difficult right now to find that retracement. Let me just put my beloved Fibonacci level here on the chart. So let me just see if that's okay. Let me just extend this a little bit to the right. There we go. So my 23.6 lies perfectly with my 1953 territory, which I spoke about previously. And the moment, look, it would be nice to see some correction lower, but I think that a break of this upside line would be required. This steep upside support line drawn from the low of the 6th of October. So it kind of actually goes somewhere around here like this. So look, if we do fall below this 1962 territory, maybe this could open the door towards some lower levels. Actually, maybe this whole territory between the 1962 and 1964 could do the trick for a few more sellers. We could then aim for the 23.6. That would be my first target, and if that gets cleared, then certainly yes, the 1930 zone could be the next one to watch, together with the 38.2% retracement on the Fibonacci. Well, again, let's wait and see. For now, we are still above this steep upside line. There is still a good chance to drift higher here. But as I said, my next target is the 2000 mark, and if we do reach that, then I'll just take it from there. Honestly, at this point, I'm watching this highlighted zone right here, this area between the 1982 and 1987 levels, and then we'll go from there. Silver so far so good, also climbing higher above this upside support line. Look how well it's playing out. So last week I've mentioned this one, and another thing that I've mentioned, I said that if we do push and stay above all of my EMAs here on the daily chart, and that would be seen as a good positive thing, and we could then target once again the 23.56 and the 23.77 level, approximately around here. Good potential targets. We've reached the area of this between these two levels, so in a way I'm gonna stick to the upside as long as we remain above the EMAs and above this upside line. If we do start clearing this upside line right here, then maybe we could start considering some lower levels. But I think that for me personally, I would like to see a drop somewhere below the EMAs here, the 200 and the 100-day EMAs. And then, yes, I'll aim for the 50 and 50-day EMA, and then maybe this upside support line, which I still like. I didn't remove it from the chart because I still like it. That one's drawn from the low of the 22nd of June, yes, and yep, it might present itself with a nice opportunity again. Maybe like it may act as a good area of support, initial support. But again, for that, I need to see a break of this upside line first. Copper. Copper is yes. is keeping an eye on this. I'm keeping an eye on this 3.54 territory. We're breaking it right now, and I can see that we have stayed, or actually that's the Sunday candle. I think that no, that's not going to be good. So look, as long as we remain below the 3.5450 territory, somewhere around here, then yes, I'll continue targeting the downside, because again, we are near this key area, and to be honest, if somehow it reverses back to the upside, maybe the bulls are not willing to give up here. But to be honest, for me to consider the upside scenario, I would actually like to see a break of this downside line drawn from the high of the 1st of September. And then, yes, we could go a little bit higher here. In terms of the downside, I would like to see maybe a drop below, not below, but the same story, the 3.54 territory. I need to see this commodity continuing to trade below it. Oil. I started mumbling too much about copper already. I think I started repeating myself. So yeah, let's jump into another index, or sorry, another instrument. Look, although my 88 zone has been violated here several times, I still kind of like it. I mean, it's kind of an indicator for me right now, like where it could go. So look, it fell from the short-term perspective, of course, because it fell below the 88 zone, and again, I'm going to target the 50-day EMA right here. And if that gets reached and we clear that and we stay below that 50-day EMA, then yes, I'll aim for a larger correction to the downside here towards this upside line drawn from the low of the 6th of October. For the upside, what I would like to see here is, I think that I will grab this level, and for the upside, I will wait for a push somewhere above this territory, above this 89.88 initially. Then I'll keep an eye on this 90.36, and then I'll go slowly to the upside. Maybe actually this level here. No, actually, I do like that level still. Okay, that's fine. In terms of, let's say, the higher levels than maybe this one, the 91.88 zone could be a nice attractive one. But again, let's not rush into things. First, the first thing first is that we have fallen below the 88 zone and we're still trading below that. So my next target is the 50-day EMA. I get it. It's a very small territory, but hey, at the moment, in general, I don't like it because we're still sitting here. I don't really like that, but I'm trying to kind of squeeze something out of this. If we do fall below and stay below this 50-day EMA, great, I'll go even further south towards this upside line only, which is drawn from the low of the 6th of October. Natural gas. So there we go. We cleared the territory, and I talked about this, and I said to you, look, if we do rebound from this territory right here, great, more buyers here could join in. But if we do fall below this hurdle, then yes, I'll go for a retest of this upside line drawn from the low of the 24th of August, and also I'll aim for that 2.82. So far, we're on the right track. Soybeans. I have talked about this one a while ago, so we broke the downside line, so that's great. And look at this, my theory is working, where I said to you that whenever we break a trend line, we kind of retest it from the other side. And so far, we're doing a good job here. We're testing this downside line from the other side. The question is, can we see a rebound? And to be honest, I will stick to that. I think I will stick to this potential idea of a rebound. For me, the downside scenario could come on a break of this little hurdle here, this 1270 zone, and then we'll go from there, because then I'll target the current lowest point of October near the 1250, and if that gets clear, the forthcoming lower low will be confirmed. Bitcoin, there we go. An animal, honestly, an animal which was unleashed during the weekend. And look at this. I mean, started off on Friday, and then it just continued to pop. In general, my idea worked out here. I talked about this area, said that, look, we are forming, in the beginning of last week, I said that, look, we are forming something of a bullish flag here, and but I need to see a pop above that 28,550. Where my next target then will be this 29,685 tick, and then maybe that psychological 30,000 mark tick. Okay, it pushed further north. That's absolutely fine with me. I mean, in general, I reached my target. So now what's next? Well, this is the tricky bit, because look, a few adjustments have to be made here. First of all, let's mark this little spike here we had in mid-October, nearly 30,600. Let's round it up here. So if we do somehow stay above it, then yes, I'll go further north. And if we do push above the 31, if we do remain above the 30,600 zone, then yes, my next target is the 31,837. In terms of the downside, I would like to see a drop back below the 30,000 mark, and yes, then I will consider a move lower. Not somewhere here. Okay, look, I'll start off with 30,240 right here. I do like this hurdle, and then I'll get even more comfortable with the downside if we do, or let's say a larger correction to the downside if we do see a drop below the psychological 30,000 mark. Ethereum, just a quick one here. A beautiful test, very technical. I talked about this little hurdle here last week, this 1641. We cleared it. I said that my next target is the downside line, but if that gets cleared, we'll go further north. Well, at the moment, we're seeing a hold up near this downside line, so that's great. Yes, I will keep an eye on this 1775 zone right here. Good potential target, but look, I will keep an eye on the 200-day EMA as well. So basically, if we do break the downside line and we also push above the 200-day EMA, then that's even better for more buyers. You know, more of them could join in, and my next target will be this 1775. But of course, look, in general, while we remain below a downside line and we continue, let's say, to struggle to overcome it, the trend remains to the downside. The overall trend remains to the downside. So what we're seeing here, it could be just part of a larger correction to the upside before another leg of selling. But for me, the selling part probably will come on a drop somewhere below the 1642 territory. And at the same time, if we do fall below the 50-day EMA, then yes, more sellers here could join in, but then I will be very careful because I'm going to target this little upside line, which is a little bit on the tentative side, don't get me wrong, but a good potential target in the beginning. Ooh, wow, what a big comment. So can I just very quickly read out BRICS is very serious, huh? They're using BRICS geopolitics to pump gold and silver because BRICS countries are pegging their joint venture currency with these commodities. And yes, your scenarios are on point. They have to let sentiment be bullish 3 times in a row. If they should an overflow bias for showing it's longing, and it's literally what they're doing on gold and silver. They're using BRICS to market, making confront their real intentions. Cabello all the way from South Africa. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Charles Schwab. Okay. Yes. Look. Good material, honestly. Thank you for the comment, first of all. Thank you very much. It is something to look into, for sure, if you have the time. And I think that this... look, I don't have a strong... I don't have anything, what I can say, what I can add to this at the moment. So I believe that I need to dig into this from my side a little bit more. So you might be right. I'm not saying anything. Maybe that's everything what you're saying is actually correct. So we'll see. The only thing is that, like I said, time can show. But yeah, look, let's leave that. Let me just continue with my list here. But in general, thank you very much, Cabello. I really appreciate your comment, seriously, and it does make sense. It does make sense. So yeah, but like I think this topic actually requires a separate webinar. It's BRICS topic is quite an important one. I think that people need to keep an eye on it, and it is one of it is the future, I think. So yes, and gold is one of those commodities that will get pumped up a little bit in order to help BRICS to kind of develop even further and become a little bit richer. So yes, because as we know, members of the BRICS, they do rely heavily on commodities, and gold is part of those. So yes, guys, look, but like I said, BRICS is something that we need a separate webinar on that. Look, Ethereum. So yeah, that's the situation with Ethereum. Oh, and by the way, Charles Schwab also, thank you very much. Yeah. So Charles Schwab, yes, I agree with you as well on that. Ripple. Look, the situation here is this, that we're still stuck in a range. And to be honest, I'm not really touching this one. Yes, the cryptos are moving higher, but this one is not really moving that much to the upside. Why? Because I think that because of the ongoing SEC problems. So that's why I'm still waiting for this one to make a move through one of these areas right here, and then I'll take it from there. Dogecoin, very quickly before I run out of time, actually clearing this downside line, so that's great. I talked about this last week. We cleared the downside line on the 50-day EMA. My next target is the 100-day EMA and then the 200-day EMA. Around the 100-day EMA, I have this high, the current highest point of October, near the 0.0642. And then we'll just go from there. If we clear that, then yes, like I said, my next target is the 200-day EMA. AUDUSD, so finally jumping into a few Forex pairs. So at the moment, the same game plan is valid on AUDUSD. Just bear with me. So in order to go to the downside on this one, I dropped below the 0.6285 territory for me is required. Then I'll keep a close eye on the 0.6272, and if that gets cleared, then yes, further declines are possible. In terms of the upside, a break of this downside line is needed. Then I will aim for that 0.6393 territory and this 50-day EMA. Now, look, if we are trying to squeeze something out of this one in this little territory, to be honest, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to observe the price action. AUDNZD, there we go. We're seeing finally a bit of a corrective moment. So, look, let me just get rid of this arrow here. Let me just keep that one. So, after a beautiful rally, which we had here, I think that it is time for applying my favorite Fibonacci level. There we go. So the 23.6 is roughly around that 100-day EMA. So potentially could be a good level to test, but again, first, my problem is this, the 200-day EMA, because maybe it could provide a bit of support here, together with that 1.0815 level right here, and but of course, if we do fall below it a little bit, then yes, I'll aim for that 100-day EMA and that 23.6. So at the moment, long story short, I'm leaning towards the downside a little bit, but initially towards that 200-day EMA, and then if I see that we can clear that, then yes, I'll go towards that 100-day EMA. For the upside straight away, for example, if we do just kind of ignore all this Fibonacci thing, if we do pop above this current highest point of October near the 1.0846, that's where, yes, I'm going to get comfortable with even more buying, with even more higher levels, then yes, and then I'll go further north. NZDCHF, so far so good. Look, after kind of my mission accomplished here, because I've targeted this area right here, the 0.5190 together with the 0.5208. So in general, this 0.52 territory I was targeting, we reached that. So now my question is, can we go further? Can we go further south? And yes, if we do drop below that 0.5190 territory, then yes, a forthcoming lower low will be confirmed. In terms of the upside, I would like to see at least a move back above this upside line right here, drawn from the low of the 21st of August, and then we could just kind of take it from there. So yeah, USDJPY, my beloved USDJPY, and honestly, this is spectacular. Look at the squeeze. Look at the squeeze. It's just kind of, honestly, it's just slowly grinding to the upside. But again, it's stuck above this upside line, but below this 150.16 territory. And I'm waiting for that clearance. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be this week, hopefully. Maybe it's going to be driven by the PCE figure on Friday. Or if you think that maybe it's not going to like last till Friday, maybe something around the building permits. No, I mean maybe Thursday's preliminary GDP numbers could maybe do the trick here and move, or like I said, we're just waiting for Bank of Japan to do something about it. But at this point, we're just playing the waiting game. It is interesting, and it could present itself with a really nice opportunity later on, but let's wait and see. USD CAD. So far so good. Look, we are flirting with this territory. I said to you that as long as we remain above the 1.3695, I will continue targeting the upside. And so far, we are still sticking above that area. And I have nothing else to add here. I'm just going to continue targeting the upside. On the downside, look, a drop below this downside line could do the trick here. And look, of course, what we're going to be keeping a close eye on here will be on Wednesday's data from Canada. And why? We do get the Bank of Canada interest rate decision coming out. Well, the current forecast is sitting at 5%, but again, look, let me just quickly double check what's their inflation right now. Canada 3.8. Yes, so inflation number, last one came out at 3.8. So we are on the right track. So it is kind of drifting lower towards the 2% target, which everybody has honestly said. So so maybe actually it will stay at 5%. The forecast will remain at 5%. And if that's the case, I think maybe we might not see a huge kind of effect on it. Because why? Look, at this point, I'm kind of leaning towards the upside, meaning that US dollar will get stronger against the Canadian dollar, and that means that maybe everybody's already anticipating no rate hike, which is bad kind of for the currency, for the Canadian dollar. And if there's no rate hike, if it would be a rate hike, then the Canadian dollar could get stronger, and we could see this one USDCAD reversing sharply to the downside. But at the moment, the expectation is that there's not going to be, so everybody's already kind of pricing that in, and that's why we're seeing we could see like a gradual move to the upside here on USDCAD. USDCHF, very quickly before I run out of time. I have a little bit of time left, so testing the downside line, great, okay, but that's still not good enough for me. I need to see a drop below this territory, below this 0.89 territory in order to go lower for the upside. Look, we violated the downside line, but I think that what I need to do here is I need to mark some of these levels here. So look, if we start climbing above the 100-day EMA shown as the green line, then yes, I'll go slowly to the upside, and then we'll just go from there. US dollar against the Mexican peso. I haven't looked at this one for quite a while. I think I'll grab a few of this highlighted zone and mark it here, because I think this is quite important. So if we do clear this territory, then yes, great. This 18.40, if we clear it, I'll get a little bit more comfortable with the upside. At this point, we're just seeing these false breakouts. That's no good. So I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna for now just I'll remain cautiously bullish. In terms of the downside, well, I would like to see maybe a drop below this territory, back below this 1811, and if that happens, then great, more sellers here could join in and drag this one towards back to the EMAs. GBPJPY, very quickly on that one. Again, I'm running out of time, guys. Sorry for rushing it a little bit, but I think I spent too much time on the fundamentals on the top. Not that I don't like it, honestly. I love your comments in general. That kind of brings a little bit of more life into this webinar, you know. So in general, guys, all the commentators, thank you very much. That was really making my day. Look, we are seeing here, we're still seeing the pair stuck in there in that little territory. So I'm gonna just stick to the same game plan. I need to see a clearance of one of these levels in order to consider the next short-term directional move. GBPUSD, this one's also, look how well this is playing out. Look how well this 1.2122 territory is doing the job. And yes, we had some false breakouts here, but we failed to stay below it. So basically, I'm still keeping an eye on these territories. So I'm keeping an eye on this 1.2122. If we get a clearance of that one, then yes, I'll go lower. If we do get a break of this downside line, I will consider a move higher. There's nothing else to say here. EURJPY, so we've cleared the upper side of the range. So that's great, and we're still trading above it. So in a way, my next target, as long as we remain above this territory, my next target is the 159.77. And then we'll take it from there. If we clear that, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, potentially attracting even more buyers into the game. And finally, EURUSD here, we've cleared the downside line, so that's great. My only problem right now is that somehow it's not really drifting higher very much. So in a way, maybe a bit of a retracement here back down could be possible. But look, I do have this little upside line, which I think that could play out. So let's see. This upside line drawn from the low of the 3rd of October. And let's put it this way. That's what I'm going to do here instead. So I'm going to keep an eye on this upside line. If we do rebound from it, yes, I'll go further north and I'll aim for this barrier first, the 1.063540, approximately around here near the 50-day EMA. And if that gets cleared, guess what? A forthcoming higher high will be confirmed, potentially attracting more buyers into the game. So guys, I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, your views, your rocket ships, your comments. Cabello, Charles Schwab, guys, thank you very much. Honestly, good questions. Very nice discussion. Like I said, the BRICS topic is something to consider for sure. Everybody should be kind of on that. But yeah, guys, for now, let me just say that thank you very much for tuning in. Join me tomorrow morning, as always, 6 o'clock GMT time, where we're going to have a look at some of these instruments, some new ones. Yeah, I hope you have a fantastic trading day. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, risk only what you can afford to lose, don't overtrade, and everything will be fine. Thank you very much, and bye-bye. Hey there, thank you very much for watching this one till the end. I really appreciate that. So, like this video, we speculate your next mouse movement will be towards the subscribe button.